And we are live. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old.
So, right off the hop, we got to give a shout out and a thank you. This week, I got the definite pleasure of getting to co-host on another podcast.
Yay.
Jeff, don't feel sad. This is home base. This is where I live. It was just a vacation, but I had an absolute pleasure with Ryan and Blue over at the Story Mode podcast. Which was funny is in preparation for it, I was listening to the show a bunch, and it's one of those scenarios where you accidentally start listening to it in full because it's actually very interesting.
Yep.
So that's no longer, oh, I'm just listening because I have to so I can be prepared. It's like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
So so it's an absolute pleasure, and I highly recommend everybody here go check them out. So Story Mode podcast, you can find them there on Twitter as well as any of your major podcasting networks. As of when this show releases, my episode with them should be released if you want to check that one out. And as I said, a big thank you to them. It was an absolute honor and just a ton of fun. Let me say this, Jeff. You have to up your game a lot.
I think so. You're leaving me.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Just saying.
Single father gaming podcast.
We all have people that we know leave us in our lives. No, not my wife, my podcast partner.
Pivoting. Yeah.
No, nothing like that. So again, massive thank you. It's an absolute honor. And everybody definitely check it out. Story Mode podcast. But we move on to games and games that were played. From a previous episode, fans might remember that Jeff rushed out to purchase Mario's 3D collection because, as we all know, Nintendo artificially imposed a Disney Vault-like scenario as far as we're never going to sell this again.
Yep.
That's a lie. You will sell this again.
Oh, for sure.
But Jeff's son's birthday was coming up. The deadline was fast approaching, so Jeff ran out, got it beforehand, had it prepared. The birthday comes, Jeff presents Mario 3D collection.
Hey, and they load it up. Everything's going well. They see 3 games there, and boo!
The dives off a cliff.
The hype just dies. Like, not interested at all.
That is a gaming dad nightmare. What did you pay for this game, Jeff?
You know, again, we're up north in Canada, so that was a good $80, $90 with tax. So
90 Canabucks, my goodness.
Yep, there you go. That was money well spent for that 5 minutes of this is more frustrating than any game I've ever played. But yeah, no, my kids did not take well to some of the older mechanics in Mario games. So
something was it the difficulty? Was it just how it controlled? Like what when you say mechanics, like can you walk us through that a bit? That's discouraging to hear.
Yeah, so with let's say Mario 64, one, they were put off just by the Mario looks weird graphics.
Oh, come on.
So, well, and you know, memory's a little bit different, and when you see him up close and in 64-bit polygons, it doesn't look like Mario necessarily. He's a little bit fractured and more 3D looking.
Isn't it? So are you talking specifically about 64 or Sunshine? And wasn't 64 a true
64
upgrade?
64 was just the straight up emulated Mario 64. That's it. So they dove in and they quickly got out of that. Next up was Sunshine, which we are seeing on screen. A little bit better. They said this looks more like Mario, but again, there's this water mechanic in here. And the first, so it opens with Mario in jail. Very dark. I have never played Sunshine. Not Sunshine at the start, that's for sure.
It's a very dark place for Sunshine, yeah.
So Mario's in jail and he has to work off his time cleaning up the place. So it's Mario Community Service. That's what we're going to call it. And the first boss, my kids couldn't work the mechanic of the water gun part of it. So they just couldn't, they gave up pretty quickly. They didn't know what to do. It wasn't really apparent enough for them, and it wasn't exciting. So immediately put off. and I kind of cried in the corner a little bit, just counting all that money that flew out the window. But as soon as they went to bed, I tried myself with Mario Sunshine. And again, I've never played it. I don't know if you have.
No,
But
never did. Never. That was the GameCube. You know, the
Yep,
the other
purple.
Nintendo console
that's right. The one that, yeah.
of
Very-
Wii U fame.
That's right.
Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a great game. It
Oh,
to me, I wasn't pulled in as much as I am with any other Mario game, really. It's just there's some lag to it. Everything's really, I don't know. It's all over the place. What we're seeing on screen is kind of, regular platforming stuff, but you're just kind of running around and random things happen. Mario seems very sluggish in stuff like water, and why I can't squirt water and hover in water is beyond me. Why couldn't you do that? So you have to swim everywhere, like we're seeing right now. You can't squirt and get up on the water. You need to find a ledge. So I don't know. It's not the greatest. I will say, as a dad gaming tip, though, you can save anywhere,
That's
which is
nice.
great.
Okay.
So pick up and play, put down and play. It's very easy to kind of do that, but it will kick you out to like the main level, no matter what you do in this game. If you get a little star or something, it kicks you out to the main level, which is a little bit frustrating. You have to run around and try to find another level to do, but not the greatest. Trevor, I don't know. Not money well spent. What can I say? It's a fail.
It's just that, like, the horror for a dad. Like, you've bought into this thing. They said they wanted it. You
Yeah.
present it to it, and there's that initial excitement, and then it just falls on its face, completely falls flat. Like, that's just crushing, because you were excited about it. This is going to be great. We're all going to play some Mario together. These
Yeah.
are the 64 one. That feels like.
It feels
that especially
harsh.
feels like dagger to the heart. He's like, that's not Mario. No, you don't understand. That is Mario. What
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
is this new nonsense. You don't understand what real Mario is.
Exactly. I know.
So, and that's a shame too. I'm curious of, did you ever play the Mario 64 that they released on the Nintendo DS?
No, I didn't. No.
Because I'm curious the visuals on that. Where is it similarly as blocky, or did they do any kind of like slight upgrade to it, or perhaps even it just looks more natural?
Mario 64 definitely just looks cleaner. So everything is the same textures, same blurry textures up close. It just looks it runs smoother, and it is cleaner in a way, but I don't think that very much was done to it. I think save points might have been inserted in, so it's easy to get in and out, but not much else. Maybe this is why this expired, so people couldn't come back.
It's like, after we sell this initial stock, no one's going to want this.
Yeah,
So this is
exactly.
done.
Just get rid of it.
Oh, dad fail. That
Dad
hurts.
fail for me. I'm sorry. This is not recommended.
It's just like, well, you kids don't get any allowance for the next month because I got to make this money back.
Yeah, that's right.
Stick to Pokemon. So now what's curious enough is that, so that's a dad fail, unfortunately, and that happens from time to time. It's a learning moment. And I think what's great about learning moments from a gaming dad is that in many ways, a dad learning moment fail in many ways is a gaming dad victory. And in fact, our gaming dad victory of the week this week is such a failure. So let's hop into it and see what type of failure turned into the gaming dad victory.
Gaming Dad Victory of the Week. Each week we feature an exceptional gaming dad, and often their kids, who are doing fatherhood and gaming so well.
All right, so this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week goes to Luke. Listener of the show wrote in, and thank you so much, Luke, for writing into us. It was so amazing to read your story, and we're both of us are just chuckling. It was too perfect, and something that I think any gaming dad can relate to. So, hey guys, fellow gaming dad here, and big fan of the pod. Thought I'd share a quick complete fail that happened to me this past Friday. My oldest boy is 7, and recently we had looked around at Game Pass on the Xbox together and downloaded Unraveled 2. I would have done that until I read this story as well. as it looked like a fun little co-op we could run through together. Cute little yarn string characters work together to solve puzzles and advance in a side-scroller style levels. I never played the first Unravel, and the concept and preview seemed safe enough that we dove into Unravel 2 together for 20 minutes on Wednesday night. Enough time to get a handle on the tutorial and see if we'd like it. We enjoyed it, so we got a promise that we'd put in an hour Friday night if his attitude was good the next 2 days, and baseball practice Friday afternoon went well. Attitude and effort-wise, not skill-wise. So I love that. That's exactly how my household runs.
Right.
Because the game is such an amazing draw, such a carrot, that it's like, listen at school, try your best, be nice, or you're going to lose your game.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's their kids' currency, right? That's what they deal in. So it's game time. That's what they're going to go for.
Absolutely. So absolutely relate to that one. So, well, he did awesome Thursday and Friday, knowing his Friday night gaming with dad party was coming. Unravel 2 was a lot of fun, but in the background, a bit of a dark story was starting to, well, unravel. Dad pun. Did it. Nailed it. It started with just 2 kids seemingly running away from someone, but it's always a distant background and fades in and out. The whole time you're playing as 2 little connected yarn ball characters, and the background story doesn't really affect what you're doing. And then zombies.
Yeah.
Just like, and then what? Not cute little plants and zombies, but like dark, full-grown men zombies chasing the kids in the background story. I asked him if we should stop, and he said, yes, please. Shoot. Shoot was his word, and I would agree with that completely.
Yeah.
I suppose I should have dug deeper into what the game was about before we dove in, but it wasn't until at least 30 to 40 minutes of gameplay that I got dark. Saved the night by him super excitedly getting to show me his Minecraft creative world. Oh, that's a great save.
Yep.
Amazing save.
Good save, yep.
And the roller coaster he built to show me, but still. Just a bit of a dad fail, wondering if either of you have had a similar issue, started something with the kids that turned out to be too mature for the kids. Thanks, guys. I'm all ears. Luke.
Still an amazing story. I think, that bonding over gaming and quickly, as a dad should, adapt and be flexible and kind of go into another game when needed. So, yeah, it's still a gaming dad victory.
It absolutely is. And I think I can say briefly, I don't think there's a gaming dad that exists that has not had this happen.
Oh, no, yeah.
So it almost feels like a rite of passage. It's like, hey, let's play this game. Oh, no.
Wait. Yes.
Exactly. Start.
Yeah.
Just try to get out. So, man, I got the recovery.
Yes.
So swinging it around, hey, why don't you show me what you did in Minecraft Creative? Getting to see the amazing work from his roller coaster, pitch perfect recovery. Yeah. Amazing. Great. So for that save and learning a little bit from a scary left turn horror story, Luke has won this week's Gaming Dad Victory of the Week.
If you would like to be nominated or know somebody else deserving, please get a hold of us at our website, newdadgaming.com.
That is just absolutely amazing, and I would never expect it. Like Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, you actually had an experience with this game, no?
Yep. Yes, Unravel 2. I have played Unravel, the first one, and it was pretty good. As far as I remember, it was not dark.
Hold on, wait a minute. So you're telling me that not only was it a left turn, but it was the first one was fine. And this horror stuff is only in the second?
That I remember the first one because it was quite a few years ago and my dad memory is not up to snuff, but I remember it being fine. Like I remember playing with my oldest for quite a fair bit of it and it was okay. Unravel 2, okay. Unravel 2 has a pretty dark, not even dark, just very serious story that happens in the background. And I was playing again with my oldest son and my youngest son was watching. And part of it, after the kind of tutorial area, you go into from what I remember, this house or this like adoptive family, and it's happening in the background, and the kids are trying to get away from like these adoptive parents that are abusive. So they're abusing them. And you have to run away from them and guide them out. And they like go out the window and then you get in this like rooftop rainy area and you escape the parents. And that's where I said, you know what?
I'm going to take the L on this cost because we
Yeah.
are not finishing this.
This is a little much, and it's a little too intense, and it's probably a good actual real story to tell and get involved with. But we were just looking at the yarny, fun characters that are on the screen, and that kind of drew us in again. So the story is really dark, and I've read further in the plot, and there's like burning houses and all sorts of things that are, it doesn't get any lighter. So fair warning to any dads out there looking at Unravel 2. You know what we say, the cover of the book. You know, what was that old saying? You know,
Don't judge a
don't
book by its
judge a
cover.
book by the cover. Well, same goes with games. If it's cutesy and light and airy on the front, not necessarily.
Or even by the trailer. So recently my kid was watching, like he went down gaming rabbit hole. Like we've done pretty good in locking the devices with YouTube.
Okay. Yep.
So it steers it pretty clear, but like you get deep enough and some stuff starts to get through the crack. And all of a sudden I'm watching him, we're checking in on him often, and what I see on his screen is Little Nightmares. Mm-hmm. That game is horrifying.
It is. Yep.
Like it's so gruesome in its art style, and especially for a kid because you're this tiny little person and it's just these like sick, twisted adults, like grotesque adults, like chasing you and trying to do awful things. It's like that could not be a worse game.
Yeah.
And there'd be almost some part of you. It's not as you would expect it from that game. It was sold as like a horror one, fine.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
From a list of thumbnails, if a kid was to get into it and start watching some of it, little yellow riding hood. This looks kind of cute.
Yeah.
Like it
Why
probably
not?
is for the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's it can get absolutely intense, and any listeners to the show know that my son has been through some nightmares in the YouTube realm and gone down that rabbit hole. So yeah, it's one of those parenting things that it happens to all of us, and to kind of get out of it and be adaptive and flexible and kind of guide your kids away from certain things that may pose a little problem in the end. So
Yeah, you could just admit that it's scary.
Yeah.
Like, that's not right. That is scary. Do you want to talk about it? Why don't we focus on something nice? Let's do
Minecraft. There you go.
just not Mario Sunshine. Let's just
No, let's not go back to that.
that's not going to help anybody. Yeah, that was just wild. Yeah, man, was the other. There's another one too where there was. Unfortunately for me, it mostly seems to come into YouTube, and I think this is before we really locked down the content. There was a streamer. Now, you might have the same type of experience, and other dads might. He was playing super friendly games, like Hype Beasts or Beast War. What's the one where you're the kind of gelatinous wrestling characters? Gang Beasts.
Oh, yes.
Gang Beasts.
Yes. Yep.
You know what I mean? And he was very funny, like entertaining guy, super energetic. So the kid loves him, just laughing. And Gang Beasts, it's a riot. And he had a series of those type of games where it's just super kid friendly, yucking it up, seemed great. And then one of those times, again, like you're kind of just checking in periodically, and you look at screen, and it's super dark. It is just completely obscured.
Oh, no.
It's like, what the heck is this? He is playing like this awful Android port, something like Hunt Sasquatch.
Oh, no.
And it has like rusty bear traps. It's got shotguns. It has spears, and it's all about you trying to out hunt the Sasquatch, which is trying to kill you. So like there's blood on the screen. It's just like, what happened? This guy was good.
Yeah.
This was like, I thought he was like Joe, like kid streamer. Like all of a sudden he just went into this awful dark game. I don't know if you found the same thing with streamers your kid maybe likes, where it's like 80% of this guy's content is dad approved.
It's totally fine. And then it's just that one playlist that goes into the next one. We had one with Five Nights at Freddy's. So that is a pretty popular one that a lot of YouTubers, like in the beginning, it's a few years old anyway, a bunch of sequels to it. But a lot of those channels would have Minecraft and stuff that my kids are interested in. And then all of a sudden it just takes this quick turn into Five Nights at Freddy's. And that's a nightmare escape room, right? So it's just trying to catch that as quickly as you can is kind of difficult. But when you do have that conversation and kind of go over those things, but yeah, it can be a deep, deep rabbit hole and take a hard turn into horror pretty quickly. So,
Jeez. Yeah, so something for dads to be aware of and do your best. And like
Yeah.
ultimately, what happened to Luke is going to happen for you. So
Yeah.
have the pivots ready to go.
right.
Like the solve that is like being able to play some Minecraft or something to say like, hey, look over here, it's fine, we're good. It's gonna turn that off for the night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, super unrelated. I remember this is a fun, weird story, and I wonder sometimes how my life would have turned out differently
Oh,
if
no.
this was okay. So I had way back in the day. I'll try to be quick. The way back in the day, I had a paper route, I had like 100 papers on my route. Like it was nuts. It
Yeah.
was exhausting. But if you every month you do it, you get some more points, and eventually they'll reward you. Okay, change in 10 points and get something. And I'm like, let's call it 8 years old.
Okay.
And I changed my points. It's like, hey, there's all these CDs. Look at all these cool CDs. Yeah, I think I'll get it. Hey,
Yeah.
this one's cool. Look at this. It's a bunch of animated character. It's a cartoon character thing. Like this could be interesting. I think this might be fun. The CD shows up, and my parents like take a look at it. Who's Snoop Dogg?
Oh no.
It's like, so at 8 years old,
You're signing up for like Columbia House or something? You're just
that was one of the rewards for their paper boys.
Oh my god. Okay.
So it's like Snoop Dogg Doghouse, like what the
Yeah.
one that I think had Gin and Juice, like one of his penultimate albums.
Wow.
So I could, if it was a sitcom, the way I would remember it in my brain is that they disappear. It's like we better give this. They looked at the cover.
Yeah.
Now I'm naive, but a lot of it's very provocative. It's done as a cartoon,
Yes.
so I didn't see it. But my parents is like, they're looking at it. They're like, we better listen to this. So they go off to the other room. I'm saying, they come back and they're just stone, like white faced.
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna buy you another CD.
Oh my god. Did you hear like any sound through the
Nothing.
wall? Like just bass, just
Not a single thing. I didn't hear anything, and I never saw that CD again.
oh my god. That is hilarious.
So what would have happened to 8-year-old innocent Trevor if he had like fallen in love with the Snoop Dogg album at that age?
I think you
gotta
would have
won-
been listening to it on your paper route the next time you're out. Just
just singing it out loud, not
old-
understanding what the words mean.
yeah, right.
Let's be honest, I probably would be cooler if I
Yeah.
had that album as a kid.
Thanks, mom and dad. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, speaking of trading in things, jobs, and saving up for certain other things,
Oh yeah.
I recently have had a fairly interesting experience with my son that kind of translated into what I think is a really big opportunity for real world learning. And I'm kind of curious if you've had similar. So we are back on our Lego Marvel 2 grind.
Oh no.
Hooray.
Yeah, I know how much you love Lego, so this should work.
I'll say that I'm finding some peace in renewing my completionist angle.
Okay.
Where he wants every character now, and there's a little part of me that's like, okay, let's get every character in this game. And I'm cheating. Like I have my phone, so I'm like searching
Yeah.
for everything, like where to find it, which I've mentioned in previous one. He's zoned in on, so he'll say, "Dad, use your phone. Where is this guy?"
Look it up. Come on.
Yeah, it's like, no, you earn it, son. So, anyways, so I'm getting some joy in it as far as expressing old completionist habits.
Okay. Yep.
But more importantly is that you get the character chits, and then you have to purchase them with in-game studs, their currency.
Okay.
It comes at a slow enough pace that like it would take forever to buy all the characters.
Oh,
You got to
lovely.
finish like 2 missions, and you get like 100,000, but this character costs 250,000.
Oh no.
So the real secret is you can purchase stud multipliers. So
That makes sense. Yeah.
So for 500,000, we were able to double our studs. For 1 million, we can get 4 times, and then those numbers kind of scale. So until eventually you're getting like 10-time studs. So, so what this lays out to me is lessons in math and economics,
Right.
where he's like, how long until we can get that cheat? I'm like, okay, we have, and I'm removing the word millions because that's not going to do anything for me.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's like we need 10 and we have 6. Like, how many do we need? Now, at the moment, he's just throwing out any number until he gets it right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
2.
for sure.
No, like this.
Keep going.
The best part is when he gets it right, and I have to. It's like you don't know why that's right. It's like show your work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, where's your long division? Come on.
Yeah, like so. First, it's working on his addition as far as okay. So we need to get 5, but we only have 2. How many more do we need? And trying to walk it through. And the harder one, which I think he's probably a bit young for this, but I'm trying to lay it in. It's the idea of investment, right? It's investment in saving.
Yeah.
It's I know that you really want to buy this character for 200,000, but if you save all of them and you wait, you could get the multiplier, and then all of a sudden you're going to be able to buy all of them much faster.
Right.
And he's getting it. You can see the two parts of his brain fighting. It's like, okay, I want to get them. I want to get them all, but I also just want to get this now.
Yeah, because like look at the cards on screen. They're the actual characters, and then the multiplier the card probably is just ×5 on it, and I don't want that. I want my character.
So you have to say like, not just hold, just you just like hold off on that bit of pleasure because if we do, there'll be much more, and it's an investment.
Right.
So again, I think he's a bit young to fully grasp it, but it's been interesting for me to introduce it. At least as far as like, here's a bunch of math. I think that part's great. I'm really excited about teaching him that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's spelling too, frankly, where
good.
at least with like retry and like cancel, because he'll ask which button do I press.
Yep.
It's like, well, you need to start again or retry. Like, what are the letters here? Like, spell them out for me.
Yeah.
R-E-T. It's like, okay. So I'm trying to use his desire to play the game and continue and find menu stuff I'm using to get him to learn what the words say.
That's not a bad idea.
Right.
I did the same, so it's all good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear you say it. So how did that work in your household? Was it a primary tool? Did it help massively? Was it a failure? Like how did the education through gaming go for you?
I think it went pretty well because there's an immediate feedback. So even just general menus of, continue or go back to main menu. When my son couldn't really read or know how to spell those words, you quickly found out which button did what, right? And then through memory and just even the positive reinforcement of he got what he wanted when he selected the right one, he'd remember, I think, quicker for next time and what those letters kind of meant. And then it kind of went up from there because now they're really into Minecraft and he's spelling out his own signs and signing in stuff in those games. So I think these Lego games, now that you've accepted this as your fate,
this is my life now. Yeah,
is a really good tool to teach those not only reading, spelling, math, and then you're kind of doing that strategy and planning ahead, right? In a very basic sense, but getting all that together, and again with those rewards that keep happening, I think is a great tool, along with regular school and teaching. We're not ruling that out. It's not going to be taught by Lego characters, but I think it works. Like I think it's absolutely a great tool to kind of put into that gaming dad toolbox. So
yeah, but I think I'd like to start leaning on it as far as like he certainly, I don't want to say he struggles in school. He's a very active kid, very. I'm trying to think of the right word. He just loves to use his hands and be active and move. So when it comes time to, which honestly is like most young boys that I've ever seen. But so when it comes time to sit there and like study and work, struggles, as they all do. Like school's awful for young boys, I think. So I like it as a mechanism, like as a desire. It's like, you know how we keep playing games and there's these guys say words or you want to get through the menu so you can choose things? Well, if you learn how to read, like you can do it completely yourself.
yeah.
So it's kind of putting that end game out for him that states that like I know this sucks. Like I was exactly in your seat before.
Yep.
I didn't like it, but there at the end of it, like here's all the benefits to what you get.
Right. Yeah, and it'll come too. Like it's just like it's kind of like that light switch that it just flicks on almost one day and they start to get it. And I'm sure that you'll come down one day and all these characters will be just bought, ready to go and be like, look, Dad, I did everything. I, know my millions times millions and the multipliers and all sorts of things. So
Also, Father, did you see the latest position of Tesla? I think it's going to really rocket this week. Like, oh my God, my boy's got more money than I do.
you should invest now. I'm sitting up here riding high. So
Dad, I was looking at your portfolio. I'm not so sure you're really optimized for the current market. Shut up, son.
oh no, they're ahead of us now.
Yeah, they've taken over. But as they will eventually for sure, which is the best part, which I can't wait, which that's the goal. That's the end game here. Have them make the money so we can play the games.
That's right. Yeah.
But until such time, we got to keep cranking out those podcasts, and for that, we will wrap it up for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you'd like to get a hold of us, much like Luke did, and again, Luke, thank you so much for the story this week. That was a riot. That was so great to read through. If you have a story like Luke that you'd want to have read on the air and possibly as Gaming Dad Victory of the Week, reach out to us. You can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at New Dad Gaming. If you like the podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, any of the major platforms. Subscribing really helps us out as we're trying to grow and reach out to as many gaming dads as possible. So thank you so much. Also, just, again, a quick other shout out, give a listen to Story Mode podcast. Wonderful work that they're doing there. And as I said, it was an honor to be on there, and they have a new subscriber in me. So certainly check it out. Thank you to them once again. So thank you, everybody. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And just because you became a dad
doesn't mean it's game over. See ya.
See you later.